All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Right? Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, man. Right? Brother Kapash. Uh,
All praise to the Most High. Shalom to all the 12 tribes scattered. Hopefully, brothers and sisters enjoy still and not getting tempted by this wicked spirit that's around. You know, you got the music playing, you got people tempting you to say Merry Christmas. You know, I hope brothers and sisters are not getting, you're not getting swayed, man. Yes, by this wicked doctrine. But yeah, Lord willing, we can go into this, like the wicked, evil truth of Christmas. Go on, you start.
God. All praise to the Most High, man. Right? Right? All praise to the Most High, man. Right? You have to have, right, an eye, man, to see and not be ignorant at this time, man. Right? Especially in the last days, man. You can't be ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Right? This is the book of Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7. See that? Sirach chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So you gotta really judge, okay, hold on. Right? You can't just say, okay, yeah, this is it, and I believe it because it feels like Christmas. What does Christmas feel like? You're touching around your house. Does it feel like Christmas? Right? You can't be ignorant, man. Right? Of a great matter or a small matter. So you have to prove all things, man. You have to really go through the precepts and not be and not have a sheeple mentality where you follow everyone else. It's Christmas, we gotta go celebrate. Right? Despite the fact that no Bible verse ever actually told you to do that. Right? But and you can't be ignorant of a small matter, right? Or a great, right? And the reason why is that, man? Because Satan has a short time. So if Satan has a short time, he's gonna find any way to tempt you. Right now you're saying, oh well, I'm by myself and I'm by myself, no one's with me, and I guess I'm gonna have to go and celebrate. No, you don't have to do that, man. Why do you have to go and celebrate something that is rooted in paganism, right? Witchcraft, right? And just to even point it out, man, I've seen, there's he's an agent, really. Anyone that's trying to confound Israelites, right? And, they putting up posts debunking this. Really, you're an agent, right? Trying to say, oh, Christmas is not pagan and saying, oh, and they try and use certain verses. Say, okay, Jeremiah 10 is not talking about a Christmas tree. All right, that's fine. That's cool, right? Obviously directly it isn't saying the literal Christmas tree. Cool, but it is very identical to the acts that people do in their homes around this time period today, right? And the Lord said, what do you say? Abstain from all appearance of evil, right?
That's right.
Right, just like the Lord told you, hey, don't commit adultery. Right? Now you're saying, okay, you're finding another way. You're saying, oh, that's not adultery. You're talking to someone's wife. You're saying, oh, that's not adultery. Right? It's identical. It matches that, and you're saying, oh, no, it's not adultery. You know what this is, Ark? Right? This is, I'm talking to the Aqua. Right? Right? This is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Right, and lust takes place in a short time, man. Right, it's not a thing that's sincere. Like a marriage is honorable. Lust and adultery and wickedness and fornication, these things, it happens on a short span, right? They just needed 5 minutes. Just give us 5 minutes. Just give us 10 minutes. That's not something that's been courted, man, and proved over a long period of time, right? So Satan has a short time, man, right? I'll get one more, my pastor, right? This is the book of 2 Corinthians, because you can't be deceived, man, right? And if and I like to say this is my personal opinion. right? You can't be right. Just my analogy is that when you become of age, right, woman, right, the analogy obviously goes to modest clothing. You can't be in your 50s and you're saying, I didn't know I had to dress modest. You know, man, right? Just like you have the age, this is the age of information to search out this, to search out the matter. Like it says, don't be ignorant, man, right? Don't be deceived. What's your excuse for celebrating idolatry? Oh well, and even at camp, man, we had these two people. They came up to us, man. Right, they spoke to us, and they were saying, they were talking, right, and then they got upset, and they said, I think the brother kind of just dropped off, right, but I went to the stage. Come on, you're back, right? So we got camp, and these two people, they were talking. We were talking to them about the Bible. As soon as you got to Christmas, the brother's head kind of dropped down, man. Kind of like dropped. Yeah,
See that?
they didn't want to have the conversation no more, man. Right? So this is Second Corinthians chapter 11, and I'll start at verse number 13. It says, for such are Salakia, 2 Corinthians 11 and 13, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. So people, they will make themselves seem like, oh yeah, he's such a righteous guy. He's amazing. He believes in the Bible. Did you see how he read that verse? Right? Hey, Judas was one of the 12, man. So there's no point saying, okay, yeah, well, how he said it was so mighty and it was, oh my God. You just get deceived, right? It says verse 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, right? Because a Satan, he can become the embodiment of anything, man. Just like today, he'll say, and I say both, because even Satan, you have the spiritual demon Satan, you have the literal Satan that's on earth, man. Right? He's walking around, he's making you celebrate Christmas, man, through his marvelous works, man. But you're too simple. You don't want to, okay, maybe let me search out what's this actually about. Right? So don't be confounded at the sight of the lights. You're walking through Oxford Circus. You're seeing the bright lights. Oh, wow, baby Jesus, the stars. Right? But you haven't even questioned why are these people even celebrating this? Right? But you got it, King.
Pull up Revelation 11, and I'll start at verse 8. Revelation 11 and verse 8. And it reads, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So the dead bodies of the Israelites will lie in the streets in the great city. That great city is obviously it's America. It's the greatest country in the world today, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Lord's image was crucified. Yahweh Shai's image was crucified, right? They turned him into a white man, made him all look effeminate. He loves everyone. He's come to save everybody. So that's the image people have got in their mind. Verse 9. And they of people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. Then they say Merry Christmas. They're going to make merry and shall send gifts one to another. These two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. These two prophets is going into Judah and Israel. We've tormented these Edomites for a long time. They've hated us for a long time. Now it's their get back. That's why your friend Tom or your friend, Harry,
Right.
a lot of them hate you. You don't even realize they hate you. You think everybody's a friend because Jake is so simple nowadays, right? Because the gift has destroyed the heart. Esau has given us so many gifts. We think he's our friend. And again, Esau's a cunning hunter. He knows how to make his opponent weak, how to toughen him up before he goes for the blow. Right? He's not stupid.
He's actually very cunning. And because our people are like sheep, which is quite stupid, we don't actually realize like the deception that's been put there. So in verse 10, it tells us they made merry and they were giving gifts one another. Gifts was us. What do our people think was happening when we were in slavery? And then Christmas time came about. What do you think was happening? What do you think? Who do you think was a gift? You were the gift, Negro. You were being gifted to the next plantation. Your family was split up, but yet today our people just willingly follow this, right? Okay. For 2 Kings 17. 2 Kings chapter 17. I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says, "For they served idols, wherefore Yahweh had said on them, Ye shall not do this thing. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah." There's the prophet. "By all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks to the neck of their fathers that did not believe in the Lord their God. And they rejected his covenant, his statutes, and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies, which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom Yahweh had charged them that they should not do like them." What we're doing today, our people just follow after the heathen, even though the Mosai told us, don't follow after their ways. Don't envy their ways. Choose not their ways. Verse 16. "And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and use divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger." And today our people are doing the same thing. How they're doing it? Allowing their children to worship another God by celebrating Christmas. Having that tree, going under the tree, picking up the gifts or putting down the gifts, bowing down to the tree. They don't realize this is all a ritual. Once you understand that it's a ritual, you see the evil in it. You know, I was driving around today, and honestly, there was a street that I drive past. At least 6-7 houses on the same side, all got all type of Christmas ornaments. I'm talking trees, I'm talking snowmen, I'm talking lights, I'm talking different stars, like just, and it looks like a lot of effort. A lot of effort just to be destroyed in the end. Right? I'm gonna finish this verse 18. "Therefore Yahweh was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God. They walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers, until he cast them out of his sight." So the reason why we're getting afflicted even till this day is because we're still rebellious. The Messiah sent people that understand his word to be able to break down the Bible to other Israelites, but they don't want to hear it. Why? Because they're comfortable. The Messiah calls us what? A people laden with iniquity. Meaning we're in bed with sin and we love it. Right? Pull Deuteronomy 12. Deuteronomy 12, verse 9. And then we're gonna go into a couple of these. I sent you a couple of links to pull up, Lord willing, later on. But just to show, and I think we've done this last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, every year,
We've
man.
gone in, yeah. We've gone into, different links about how like it's got nothing to do with Yahweh Shai, it's got nothing to do with Christ, right? You can show our people this, they still don't care, right? Because they weren't some of it, because again, ultimately, some people have to be 2/3, isn't it? So it can be everyone, but we still have to push this word regardless.
Yeah.
But this is Deuteronomy 12 and verse 29. It says, when Yahweh thy God shall cut off the nations from before whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in the land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after thou be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. That's our people. How do you guys do Christmas? Oh, you put the tree and okay, oh then let's do that then. And they follow along. Right? I'm gonna jump down, verse 32. What things soever I command you observe to do, thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. So whatever the Most High has told us to do, we can't take that away. Neither should we be adding onto it. Be adding to the words of the Lord. Right? I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna pass it. Mark 7. It's the book of Mark 7 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, he answered and said unto them, have Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart far from me. Meaning your mind is far from the Lord. You use your mind to think of what you're going to do, and then you action it. Meaning your heart being far from the Lord, meaning your actions are not aligned with the Lord. You're not walking with the Lord. You prophesy with your mouth, you say you love God, you say you love Jesus, you say you go to church, you say you pay your tithes, but you don't do the things God is telling you to do. You ignore his commandments and you do what you want to do or what feels right to you. That's evil. Verse 8, Salakia, verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So Christianity is teaching for doctrines, commandments of men, worshiping the Most High in vain. Because the Most High never told us to celebrate Shai's birthday. If anything, it's contrary. We're not supposed to celebrate birthdays at all. Because in the Satanic Bible, this is the highest holy day. Because it's the highest holy day in the Satanic Bible, because nothing higher as a Satanist to worship thyself. To say, it's my day today. I get all the glory today. No. We want to give the glory to the Lord. I wasn't there when he created every single day. I wasn't there when he created time. Time itself. We can't comprehend how time works. How does he live outside of it? I wasn't there when he made all the different nations. How he made Jacob come out from the same womb. We weren't there. So who the hell are we to be trying to claim glory? It's my day. It's my birthday. Your birthday ain't shit. So like here for the language. Your birthday ain't SHIT.
Right.
You ain't SHIT to be celebrating your birthday, let alone celebrate Yahweh Shai's birthday. He never told you to do that, you hypocrite. Verse 8, for laying aside the commandments of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men. So the commandments of the Most High, you put it on the side, and then you pick up the tradition of men and do that instead. Right? It says, as the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things you do. Because in context, the scribes and Pharisees were trying to accuse Christ's disciples for not washing their hands before they eat, pushing it as if it's a commandment. Christ is checking them, letting them know, wait. There's nothing in the law that says you can't wash your hands before you eat. But you guys, and it's funny because we deal with this with Christians today. Like you be pulling up verses and then Christians that to try, even like this week when I spoke to that Christian, was telling him, look, we shouldn't be eating pork. And then he looked at it because I had a chain on and it had a bit of gold in it. I don't know if it's real or not, but it had a bit of what looked like to be gold. And he said, you shouldn't be wearing gold. I said, where's that at in the Bible? He went to Deuteronomy, I believe, 6 or 7 and 25, where it says, he didn't understand himself, because it says we shouldn't envy the gold that's on the idolatry statutes that we made. That's what I was roughly paraphrasing. So I read that and I was like, that's not saying what you just said. I can't see. That's how people today, they're quick to trying to pull something to you to say, well, you can't be doing that. Okay, where's the verse that says that? You can't prove nothing. All you're doing is talking. You're not actually listening to understand. You're listening to respond. Right? That's what I got for now. You got it.
Come on, and it's just the hypocrisy, man, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hypocrisy. Like, why? Because, obviously there's traditions of men. Like, that's, it's normal to have traditions of men, isn't it? But to let them supersede what is the Most High, and even the spirit that thing is in. Because, for example, in Israelite camps, they might say to brothers, okay, like, only after 9 months, that someone's been in the congregation, whatever, then you can start kind of courting. There's no law on that, but that's just wisdom, and that's just the tradition of men to say, look, hey, after this amount of time, that's when this should happen. That's called wisdom. That is a tradition of men, but and essentially what's being said in that is in the spirit of the law, in it. It's not just some random, okay, we're just doing this because, right? But nonetheless, man, right? Yeah, get a quick precept, man. This is James chapter 4, right, verse 17. Because I know a lot of people know that it's off, man. Right? A lot of people know that Christmas is off. They know deep down in their heart that Christmas has nothing to do with Christ. Can't show you one Bible verse. They can't show you anything that says, oh yeah, look, see. All right, but this is James 4 and 17. It says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not. And that's even convicting anyone, not just for Christmas, any sin. Something's wrong, right? This is, I'll read it again. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good. So that you should be doing something that's in righteousness or in the spirit of the law, right? And doeth it not, and you don't do it, to him it is sin. So that's a sin. You're going to be, you're sinning in your own conscience, man, because you shouldn't do it. You have no idea why do you put up a Christmas tree every year? Why is it? And like the brother said, man, that's that damn enticing spirit that they put out into the air, man. Right? Now they're saying that they're playing all the songs, man. Now that you're hearing the songs, here it is, Mary. You can hear that song, man. Right?
Hey,
you can't.
Sometimes I'll be sat there and I'm singing in my head.
See that?
It's like, and I have to check myself, like, what the hell are you doing? And that's why I realize how evil it is. It's wicked. So
right. And that's the point. It's enticing, man. Like, people saying, oh, it's the season. It's the season for it. It's the season to be nice. But you just that's just the law and the prophets, man. It's not about it's the season. That's just the law and the prophets, man. That's Leviticus 19. Right? That's what that is. So that's the law and the prophets. It's the law and the prophets to just be nice, man. It doesn't matter about the season. This is Deuteronomy 13 and 6. It says, if thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly. Right? So maybe your mom's saying, and you're going to have Israelites that are celebrating Christmas, man. You're going to have Israelites that are celebrating Christmas. They're going to turn up to the function. They're going to say, and they start folding in their fringes like this, and they're folding it over, right? And then your friend, because your friend knows, he always knows you don't turn up to none of these like functions. You're going to say, oh, what? Is that Jerome? Jerome, what are you doing here? I thought, you're not on the Hebrew thing. And they have to start making excuses. Oh, it's just one time. Right? So they're enticing you secret. I mean, you're enticed yourself anyway because you want to get down. Like everyone's wearing their jumpers and it's warm and it's fuzzy. Right? You're matching you and your rib. She's wearing the green one. You're wearing the red jumper with the reindeer and it lights up. And you're saying, oh, yeah, this is me. This is me. Right? So you can't be enticed secretly. So it says enticed secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, man. So essentially, going into a dream or a prophet or a false prophet, man. Now you're saying you follow. That's why you can't. Oh, it's cozy. It's all cozy because and that's where it's off, man. The spirit of it's off, man, as well. During the winter time, Jake, he's looking for, trying to find my bait, my winter bait. Right, it's cold. You just find an excuse to just go off and commit adultery, man, and just adultery and fornication and idolatry, man. Right, talking about I'm just here, right? So even right, this is Sirach 10, right? Sirach 10, because on that point you made in Second Kings, man, it's a good point. And essentially, imagine us in the Israelite community. We see a picture, right, of someone like Bishop Nathaniel, like Elder Zabat, right, the Quam, right, at some Christmas party. You're gonna be confounded. You kind of be like, you be confounded, man. Maybe they done an AI. It's like they could do that, right? But look what it says. It says, I'll start from verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So if you have the eye to realize wrong from right, and you implement that on the people that are within your congregation, they should have that same eye, man. And that comes from being sincere in your walk, right, in the truth, right? So at 10 and 2, it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So those that are within your congregation, hey, check on them. What are you doing on December 25th? What are you doing? I'm kind of asking, bro. Now you're DMing, you're typing, what are you doing on December 25th? And brother's not responded. Maybe you got too drunk at the Christmas, but now you say, hey, come on, Art. Well, you shouldn't be doing that, man. Right? Don't be enticed. And now you're saying, oh, you're biting your fingernails. You don't know. You be looking at your mum's roasting the turkey. The turkey's in the oven. You're saying, oh, you're licking your lips. Right? Passover's coming up, man. But, calm down. Right? The feast day just went. You wasn't at the feast day. And they say, I need to have some of the turkey. Right? You have to slow down, man. Right? It says, verse 3, it says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, man. So essentially, through us, obviously maybe your leaders, your leadership, whatever, right? That same spirit should be trickled down onto brothers, onto sisters, where they're prudent and they don't have the spirit to be enticed, man. Because that's how evil seeps in. Evil seeps in for just one person saying, no, I want to do this. And that causes just confusion throughout the camp, man. Right? This is Romans chapter 12. Right? Let me see in verse number... I'll start from verse number 5. It says, so we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and everyone members one of another. So we're all, it's like when the Power Rangers, man, the Megazord, man, right? That's how it's supposed to be. Now one Megazord trying to turn right. He's trying to turn that way. Hey, that's confusion, man. That's ruining, and that's really tarnishing the name of the Most High. And you might as well take your fringes off, man. Right? So, I'm gonna go to an example of that, man. Right, in the book of First Kings, right, 11. I believe it's First Kings 11, right? Book of First Kings, chapter 11. No, First Kings 12, rather. Right, it's First Kings 12, and show you how after the split of the kingdom, you had Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and they made everyone go off. Everyone just went off. right? Like the brother said, he mentioned the two calves, man. Right? I'll start from 26, right? This is First Kings 12 and 26. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, right? If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. So that's where the split, and that's the wall of partition. The wall of partition isn't non-heathens being joined unto the Israelites. It's madness, right? So, that's the wall of partition here, where the kingdom is split, right? And essentially, Jeroboam didn't want the Israelites to return back and go to the temple, man. So he said, hold on, I got a plan, right? Verse 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made two calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you. See, that's off. They probably said, it's too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods. And they turned around and there was like a damn some smoke machine, man. O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So he enticed them and he led the people. He made the people go off. He made them go off. So that's why even in your household, right? Maybe you live with your parents. Hey, have integrity, man. Oh, nah, you know what, King? Yeah, I'm with. You might be, and again, you might be with your family, and don't be eating them Christmas meals, man. Right? Don't be eating Christmas, because that's food sacrificed unto idols, man. That's essentially food sacrificed unto idols. Oh yeah, this is the Christmas turkey. What do you mean? Where's the feast day turkey, man? For I don't know, Purim, right? Or dedications, if anything, right? So it's made in the name of and the spirit of Christmas. Now you're eating. You don't even right, but you got it, King. You got it. You got it.
Okay. For First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21. I'm gonna start 21. First Thessalonians 5 and 21. And it reads, it says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. So the Bible tells us we have to prove all things, right? Not only do we have to prove things in the sense of if you say something, you need to prove it. You also have to prove a person, right? You have to prove people. The Bible tells us to prove, you got to prove a friend first. Straight away. You have to see if he's really about that life, right? If he really is down for you, right? Verse 22, it says, abstain from all appearance of evil. Anything that appears evil, stay away from it. Don't try. Oh, the Bible don't really say you can't eat on the Christmas day. It seems like evil, stay from it. That's what the Bible is teaching, right? Go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 2.
4 and verse
4 and verse 2.
Okay.
I wanna bring this home. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 2, and it says, "Ye shall not." I'm gonna start at verse 1. So like it. It says, "Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land the Lord Yahweh of your fathers giveth you. Ye shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God I command you." The Messiah is telling us we can't add nor take away from his law. There's nothing in the law that tells us to celebrate Christ's birth. So we're doing it. You cannot say you love God if you're celebrating Christ's birth. To you, it seems like, yeah, well, I'm just giving him reverence for his when he was born. He never told you to do that.
Mm.
Why are you trying to put the jacket on? It's like someone trying to force this jacket on someone. And the guy's selling, look, I don't like this jacket. I don't like it. It don't look nice on me. It makes me itchy. And you're like, nah, just wear it, innit? It looks good, fam. Just wear it. Just keep it on you. That's what people are doing with Yahushua. They're trying to put this jacket on him that he keeps telling you, don't do it. I don't want it. Go to 1 Samuel chapter 15, and I'm going to read verse 22. 1 Samuel 15 and verse 22. Because our people need to understand, and we say in our people, we're talking to the Israelites. We're talking to the 12 tribes which are scattered. We don't care about Esau. We don't care about Ishmael. You guys can do whatever the hell you want. You want to put up your Christmas tree? Go ahead, do it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. We're talking to our people because that's who Yahushua was sent for, and that's who we have to address. So we're not addressing the whole world. We're not talking about every single nation on earth. We're talking to the Israelites. And when they hear this, they'll know that this about them, right? Because Christ said, my sheep hear my voice.
Right.
And they follow me. So as we're bringing this out, the sheep, Lord willing, they're going to hear this and they're going to realize what these brothers are saying. They've not said anything out of their own mouth. They've read the Bible and broke it down. We're not like your pastors. We're not them. Right? 1 Samuel 15 and 22. It says, and Samuel said, have Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord. So this is a rhetorical question Samuel is asking, right? He's asking, so does the Mosai prefer your offerings when you do sin and you sacrifices rather than obeying him? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. To obey the Lord is better than you giving your sacrifices and you saying sorry. To obey what the commandments say is better for you to do what it says than for you to turn around and say, well, let me just do Christmas, even though it don't say that, but it doesn't seem that bad. So, okay. No, that's evil. That's evil. Our people seems to think evil because it's, when you hear evil, they think it's like murdering someone, or evil is like killing a baby, or, you know, what Putin is doing in Ukraine, or what Netanyahu is doing in Israel and Palestine. Look at that, they say, oh, that's evil right there. But your definition of evil is subjective. The Lord's definition of evil is anything that's opposite his laws. That's evil to the Most High. I don't know how they can't see that. Evil to us men and women is subjective. On the Ukraine, I don't think that's evil. I think it's a work of God right there. I would say, you know, if you abort a baby, that's evil. The Lord thinks you eating shrimps, that's evil. As small as you think that is. You not obeying his law, you keeping Christmas, that's evil. I'm gonna keep reading on that. Verse 23. It says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. And that's what's going to happen to our people. They reject the word of the Lord. How do they reject that? When we're out there teaching them, look, this is what the Bible says. We're going to read it to you. And they say, well, I've got my own understanding. You reject the word of the Lord. Guess what? When that comes, you will be rejected also. Right? The Messiah is not just the God of all love. Come as you are, anybody can be saved. That he's not in the. This is a fantasy. Our people have been destroyed in the mind so bad that you can read verbatim what it says. They so hell bent on whatever they believed is they're gonna go with. And I believe this has happened because the church have taught them once saved, always saved. So you're saved. There's nothing you can do to lose your salvation. So with that mindset, everybody's thinking, well, if I'm saved, then all I have to do is believe I'm saved. Then I don't need to do nothing. I don't need to believe anybody else. I believe I'm saved. So whatever you're teaching me, I don't need to hear it because I'm already saved. That's evil. That's the evil our people have done. These other nations have done to our people, right? Can you pull 1 Corinthians? It's like 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 14. 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 14. And it reads, be ye not, so like it, 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. It says, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Don't be like this with somebody that's an unbeliever. Don't be all buddy like this, somebody that's an unbeliever. It says, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And communion have have light with darkness. That's why as soon as you come into this understanding, whether you want it or not, if you truly come into this understanding of who you are and that you have to keep the commandments, you're going to naturally separate anyway. It's going to happen, whether you, and you know, we all had to learn one way or the other. We all tried to keep some of our lifestyle alive, think we can do a better both. And you realize you can't. You have to cut that out. You can't celebrate. I can't hit up the friends I used to hit up. I don't want to do that. We're not the same. Because all they're going to be wanting to talk about is women and going out and getting drunk. And all I want to talk about is the Bible. And whenever I bring that up, they look at me like, oh, here he goes with our Bible again. La, 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 la. Yeah. It's about what? Look at that girl though. What about this girl though? What is she? It's like, bro, I don't care about that no more. Right? We don't care about that no more. So you have to separate. You cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Verse 15. It says, and what concord have Christ with Belial, or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement have the temple of Yahweh with idols? What agreement has the temple of the Most High with idols? Right? We are the temple of the Lord. We can't be doing idolatry things. Then you're not dwelling with the Most High. Right? Now you go, yeah.
Can't and just even on that point, man, like you can't have a mixture of good and evil. Right? It's not possible. Right? You have to, like it says, Christ said, you either hate one or love the other. Right? So it's the book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse number 16. It says, no man putteth a new piece of cloth onto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Right? You try and do that, man. Oh yeah, I done it. Right now it starts ripping, and you think you got the Yeezy collection, man. Right? It says, neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So, you know, it's really about having that newness, man. Right? And having that being rejuvenated, man, and refreshed. That's what you want to have, that kind of spirit, man. Right? And even that point, man, in the winter time, right, there was no right? And that's what people disregard, you know, they contempt of small things, man. They're going to fall little by little, right? This is John 10 and 22, right? Just what was actually celebrated in the winter time, man, right? This is John 10 and 22, right? And so right, for those people that don't believe in the book of the Maccabees, right, you break this down. Where's the Feast of Dedications ordained? Where they say, okay, yeah, we have to keep this, right? You quote First Kings, quote First Kings 8, right? Quote Numbers, I believe, is it 10 maybe? Right? Quote these scriptures, but essentially this is going into the time of the Maccabees. Right? This is John 10 and 22, and it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication, and it was winter. So during the winter time, that's when the feast dedication would have been kept. Right, would have been kept during the feast during the winter time. Right, so I got you got a couple slides, man. Right, Lord, just Lord willing, we could get through them. Right, there's a couple slides. Right, just a quick one. Look at this one. Right, so it says we just and the internet is free. Right, so do you know what I'm saying? Like the internet's free. You can type this in.
Huh.
Right, and we're gonna see. You gonna say something?
No, no, no. I'm just saying. Just yeah,
Right,
nobody's charging you for it.
right. You can get a library card. Right, and ask, okay, I want to check the computer. Right, you could do that, man. Right, this is what it says. Was Jesus born on December 25th, according to the Bible? Because that's what you should speak, like it says in what's it, Isaiah 8 and 20. Right, First Peter 4 and 11. Right, speak according to this word. If you're not speaking according to that, there's no light in them. Right, straight up and down. Right, it says no. Was Jesus born on the 25th of December? No. The Bible does not say Jesus was born on the 25th. So it doesn't even say that. The Gospels don't mention a specific date, and biblical clues like shepherds with flocks in fields suggest a different time. While historians believe early Christians chose, where did Peter say on December 25th? Like, where did he say that? Christians chose December 25th centuries later. Look, centuries later. And obviously with some of this understanding of of so-called Christians, which are really first century AD Christians were the Israelites, right? And then then confusion comes into the church, right? As it says in Acts 20 and verse 28 on down, right? It says centuries later to align with what? Pagan winter solstice festivals, a date not found in the scriptures. So like the brother said in that first Thessalonians 5 and 22, it said abstain from all appearance of evil. So something that's now been aligned with a winter solstice, right? How are we gonna now say it's Jesus? You got churches. I was going to I think I was going to see my rib, right? I'm driving past the church, they're on the main road, right? And they're outside all singing with the speakers and that, man, or whatever they're doing, man. Right? The pastor they set up a big Christmas tree in the church, right? And has no one got a question for the pastor? Yo, why are we celebrating Christmas? As soon as you say that, because you ain't allowed to ask questions, right? So it says there's no mention of a date, right? Only general circumstances. Luke 2 and 8 mentions shepherds watching flocks at night, and actively less likely cold in December, but plausible when in spring or fall, the probable time for lambing. Right? Early Christians didn't celebrate. See, so if you want to say, okay, well, I'm doing this, whatever. There's a what do you call them, man? The church fathers. It says early Christians didn't celebrate Jesus' birthday, and the date for December 25th emerged centuries after his death, with the first known reference in the 4th century. Right, and that's come from the Romans, man. It's like the Daniel 7 and 25, where they changed times, man, change the laws, and everyone got celebrate to align and make everyone get with this function, man. It says, look, why December, and it's telling you the AI thing, the AI stuff, right? It's obviously beneficial for things like this, man, and it will cite the sources, right? So it says, right, the date coincides with Roman winter solstice festivals like Sol Invictus, a common practice for early Christians to integrate pagan traditions. That's where you get your sun worship as well, right? So, right, it's not looking good, man, right now, man. Right, and even another question: is Christmas in the Bible? No, right? It's just straight. It's not in the Bible, and they'll use the nativity, right? The three wise men, hey, that's the Magi. That's what they're called, man. Right? They want these random strangers, right? And they got a precept as well. Some random people just, right? It's cool. They knew the prophecy, right? That Christ would be born, man. Right? I don't know if that's in that Micah maybe. right? I believe it might be Micah, man, or it's in the Minor Prophets, where it tells you, you know, it mentions the prophecies of Christ essentially, man, right? But
Micah 5.
I think it is like 5 and 2 maybe or something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. See that? Right? It's Micah
Wow.
5 and 2.
Praise.
But thou, the water, but thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be a ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from old, from everlasting. So they knew about the prophecies, man. They weren't just, they're just scoffers and they just, who's this guy? Right? They knew of the prophecies, man. Right? And even another precept, man, to show you, Job was always complaining, right, about he's saying like this is long, right? He said he'd rather be basically dead, man, essentially, man, right? Because that when you fall asleep, that's when you essentially that's when you're at rest, man. You ain't at rest now, right? This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit, right? But better is the end than the beginning, right? I believe there's a precept that says something about better is let me see. Our Lord would not try and find it, man. But better is one's death than one's birth, paraphrasing greatly.
Yeah. That's in Job, no?
But see, Job was complaining, man. Right? He's saying, "Oh, I'm catching hell." Right? This is madness, and right, but you got it. If you don't have it, it's fine. It will do. Right? But I bring up some points now, man. Right? Going to this because you have to go and search out the secret things, man. And the Lord's not going to reveal the secret things to a guy that's just a reprobate. Right? You're not trying to further yourself in the spirit. You're just being a reprobate, man. Right? This is Daniel 2:19. Then was a secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Right? So secrets are revealed, man. So you have to search out history, man. Right? And you have to, okay, what does this mean? And what's this saying? Right? If you don't have that mindset, you're always just going to be a simple Negro. Right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1:18. It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Because you're going to see stuff like this, right? You're going to see stuff. I'm trying to find the main picture, man, where they had these so-called black men, right? I believe they're potentially Nigerian, right? They had them, right? What's so merry? That's folly, right? See that? That's folly, right? But what's so merry about this, man? Right? What's so merry? See that? What's so merry? It says this picture was taken in December 25th, which some of you are simples, right? You're gonna celebrate this, knowing like things like this, because like the brother Paul in like Revelation 11, right? Right? This is sick. This is sickening, right? Merry Christmas, Merry Xmas. This is derogatory. This is off. This is a shame. Right? People are gonna go and celebrate Christmas, man. Right? I got one more point, and I'm gonna pass it. Right? So another one, right? So it says the dark, because everyone's saying jingle bells, right? The dark history of jingle bells, from blackface minstrels, right, or minstries to Christmas classic. So essentially, that song of Jingle Bells was never to do with no jingle bells, man. Right? I believe they said it was like something to do with a sleigh, like crashing. Like I'm talking about a crash. Right? So it says the cheerful melody right, is an incredible part of the modern history, modern holiday soundscape, synonymous with winter, wonderful and festive joy. Yet, this seemingly innocent, you see, and that's why you got to be prudent, right? It says this seemingly innocent classic by James. You see that some Edomite carries a troubled history because he was associated with what they called, man. I think they're like not rednecks, but the South. Like you had the Civil War in America. You had the South, and you had the two armies that fought against each other. Basically, one they really wanted the
The
slavery to
slavery to keep going.
yeah, essentially.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got the names as well. Uh,
They had the Union and they had what they called, man. Right. You have two countries, not two countries. They're both obviously Edomites. The Confederacy, the Confederates. That's what they're called.
mm,
Confederates, right? So this guy, he was a Confederate, right? And it says it carries a troubled history. I can't even pronounce that word. Inextricably linked to the dark era of American slavery and the racist performance traditionally of minstrelsy, right? Minstrelsy, right? So essentially, this song was originally called One Horse Open Sleigh. Right, I'm gonna jump down. Right, you can read it on your own. So it says minstrel shows were a form of entertainment where white performers donned blackface makeup to mock and caricature enslaved and free African American, popularizing deeply racist stereotypes. So when you're singing jingle bells, and your son are singing it as well, and you're essentially you're and we can put it up as well. They call it minstrel show, right? This is what you're getting down with, right? That blackface spirit, and it's very racist, right? They have look, see, this is what you're really singing about, right? You're singing about this, right? Edomites pretending to be black, but now they invest in your culture and they do this for you, but you're too simple to realize it. So that Jingle Bell song is rooted in nothing, right, but the harm of your people, man, and the mistreatment of your people. But you're gonna go and sing it still. Okay, you got it, King.
can you pull out the seeing as we're on the links? Can you pull the first link I sent you?
Uh, is that
It's on WhatsApp.
is it this one?
See, that's what it is.
It's a lack because I got three. I got this one.
Yeah, I think it might be this one. So if you pull out the first one is Yule. Yeah, that one. Yeah, kind of. That's the first one. So look at this. Yule Winter Festival observed historically by Germanic peoples. So this is Yule, by the way. This is nothing to do with Christmas, but watch this. It says, and in modern times by neo-pagans, coinciding with the winter solstice, December 21st, 22nd in the northern hemisphere, June 20 and 21st in the southern hemisphere, in many the southern hemisphere, right? In many languages of Northern Europe, some variant of Yule, i.e. Yule in Scandinavian languages, is the standard word for Christmas.
Damn.
The pre-Christian, so they were celebrating Christmas before Christians were doing Christmas, before they knew about, before they attached it to Yahushua, basically. Right? The pre-Christian festivals origins are unclear, but it was celebrated in Scandinavia, other regions of Northern Europe. It was later replaced by the Christian holiday of Christmas. Possibly vestige of Yule remain within Northern European Christmas activities. Some modern neo-pagan celebrations of Yule have attempted to recreate the ancient traditions, while others have been adapted or reimagined to suit contemporary personal and religious practices. So they've used old tradition and linked it to Christ to make you
Right.
feel like you're not doing anything wrong. But that's how the devil moves, right? Our people don't know who they're fighting against. They don't know the devil's ways. They think the devil's gonna appear to them with a pitchfork and horns on his head and say, haha, I'm the devil. I'm here to deceive you now. This is what I'm about to do. What world are you living in?
Yeah.
There's no discernment in the Christianity church. No discernment. Because they don't ask no questions. Right? Early history of Yule. Yule is one of the oldest winter solstice festivals with origins among the ancient Norse thousands of years ago. Its roots are complicated and difficult to trace, although there are several theories about how and why the festival was celebrated. It is generally agreed that Yule celebration began as a Norse festival called Yule, although assessments of the purpose and traditions vary. Like most winter solstice festivals, themes of lights, fire, and feasting are common threads. Some historians think that sacrifices were an important part of the observance,
Yeah.
either to gods and other supernatural beings, such as elves, or to do dead or both, to the dead, Salakia, or to the dead or both. Now we're celebrating the death of Christ, right? It's crazy. There's links, but if you got eyes to see, you see it. If not, then I'm sorry for you. It says in the harsh climate of Northern Europe, most cattle were slaughtered because they could not be fed during the winter. Meat, therefore, was plentiful for a midwinter feast, or to leave out, as an offering. Some contend that the original festival was a sort of Norse Day of the Dead, with the god Odin as a major player. Among Odin's many names was Jolnir, and among his many duties was acting as a god of the dead. However, this has been disputed in recent years. At least one historian posting that Jol was a New Year festival intended to set the tone for the months ahead. This is all paganism, right? Then go down. Let me see that second verse. Let's finish that off with this. It says one of the earliest known references of Yule is from English monk and historian Bede, who wrote in the early 8th century about Yule. I'm guessing like July, or I don't know. It says a period in the old pagan calendar used by Germanic groups such as the Norse and Anglo-Saxons, which is so-called British people today. It says June was a 2-month span that marked the time when sunlight began to increase again at the winter solstice. It was not a festival per se, but a marking of the passage of time. So none of this do you find this in the Bible,
All right.
right? None of this is found in the Bible. I don't know if I'm conscious of time because there's another. Could you a bit see how long this one is?
You don't have to read all of
Okay,
it, but
let's
if you find where you want, and
no, the bit I wanted was in the first bit. I already got that.
come.
I'm trying to see if there's more. Go to the second link now, which is pagan roots of Christmas. Yeah, kind of. So it says, this made me laugh. Christmas makes no sense. It started an article with Christmas makes no sense. It says, and we're not just talking about that time David Bowie and Bing Crosby collaborated on the festive sing-along. No, the big fact of the annual ritual just seems to defy logic and meaning. What do brightly lit trees and mistletoe have to do with the birth of a prophet in Bethlehem thousands of years ago?
Yeah.
It made me think as well. People back in the world, you sound a mistletoe, you walk under a mistletoe with a girl, it's like, Oh, we're under mistletoe now. You know what we got? What's that got to do with Christ? It's crazy, man. This Christmas thing is it's laughable now. It's actually a joke, especially when you see grown-ups, grown men in late 40s going to and presents. Walk, bro. Let me keep reading. It says, what does jolly, portly man in red and white garb have to do with Christianity? What's the meaning behind the Yule log? And just what kind of name is Noddy holder anyway? The latter question probably defies oracle analysis. Go down a bit. It says many people have a general inkling about the way old pagan traditions and celebrations fed into Christmas as we know it today. That's what the brother was saying earlier. Our people, most of our people know Christmas is not done. They know Christ wasn't born on December 25th. They know it's odd because how can he be? We know he's not born on the 25th. Why are we doing it? Right? It says, but the details, which are still debated by experts as they reach far back into the midst of time, are fascinating and surprising. There's a thing called perfect. There's a thing called reasonable doubt, right? There's a film called Reasonable Doubt, mighty film. Really enjoyed that film. Mighty film, right? Reasonable doubt is, and it's used in court a lot. That's why the American laws, probably the British laws as well, I guess, but mostly the American laws. That's why it's so corrupt. Because if someone committed a crime and you can't fully prove it, even if you can prove it, Salakia, and the defendant can find a way to a reasonable doubt, or the what are they called, for the witnesses, not witnesses, what are they called, the people that are on the panels, the juries, right? If the juries can find that there's reasonable doubt that he may have not done it, he can get away scot-free, even if the evidence points to him. Even if you have evidence to him that says he did it, the defendant can find a reason to show that it's possibly not him, he can get away. That's what they've done with Christianity. We can see that it's evil. We can see we're not supposed to do it. But then they linked it with Christmas, with Yahweh Shai, and told you, well, it's Christ's name is in there. So it's, now you're like, I know it's evil, but his name's in there, so yeah, I might as well do it because everyone's doing it. Right? Let's keep reading this. Yahweh Shai's birthday. It says, scholars have argued about the exact year and date of Jesus of Nazareth's birthday for a long, long time. Like the Mosai never told you to argue about that. He never told you to celebrate. So what? It says these arguments can get incredibly nerdy and forehead-clutchingly complex, involving the kinds of biblical code breaking and cunning conjecture which would make Dan Brown proud. I don't even know what that is. Take the whole issue, the Star of Bethlehem, which shone so brightly and led the wise men to the infant Yahweh. There have been numerous interpretations of what the star really was, and what its appearance can tell us about the timeline of Christ's life. A paper published by an astronomer. Yeah, I don't want to read that.
And that's really a chariot. They try to just wing it what they're saying. That's just a chariot.
It says,
nah, not really.
Nah, I think that's it. I don't think there's let's read that bit. Bottom line.
Here?
There's more there. Yeah, let's read that bottom line bit and then we'll go down. Go up a bit. Yeah, there. Bottom line, nobody knows when Yahweh Shai's birthday was, except that it almost certainly wasn't December. So why that date? Some devout Christians are tempted to use the wording of the scripture, including the variation of the John the Baptist timeline above, to justify December 25th as the actual birthday. But the more generally accepted thinking is that pagans were indeed the people whose winter celebrations paved the way for our yearly secret Santa and decision and Christmas pudding heartland. Thanks, pagan. Right? It's because of these pagans that we're doing this. Like the brother said in Galatians 7, when they're trying to make everyone believe, they're trying to deceive the world, right? Change times and laws. That's what's happened. Merry Saturnalia and happy Sol Invictus Day. The most obvious precursor was the wild and madcap Roman festival called Saturnalia, running for several days in early to mid-December and held in honor of the god Saturn. This has become one of the most notorious shindigs in history, and with good reason. Never mind board games, charades, and kipping on the sofa at 4 p.m., the Romans marked winter festivities with raucous parties, rampant gambling, and turning all social norms upside down.
Right.
Go on, keep going down. Don't know if there's more. Yeah, this even meant servants and slaves were allowed to take control, with their masters even serving them feast and following their orders. They were also allowed to openly criticize in power, making Saturnalia an annual flowering of free speech and cheeky satire. All in all, Saturnalia had all the hype and excitement we associated with Christmas today. As the Roman writer Seneca reported, it is now the month of December when the greatest part of the city is in a bustle. Loose reins are given to public dissipation. Everywhere you may hear the sound of. Interestingly, the festivities also saw houses decked out in greenery and gifts were exchanged. This is in Saturnalia. Our people are doing this today and they think it's different. There's no new thing under the sun. Right? I don't know if there's more now, but let's scroll down a bit. Maybe read a little bit more and then I'll read the last one. It says Saturnalia is a classic example of a winter solstice festival, one of many which have evolved in different cultures to bring good cheer in a season of long nights and to make the sense a sense of renewal and rejuvenation. In 274 AD, long after Saturnalia was already a thing, the Romans established yet another way to mark the season, a day to celebrate the sun god Sol Invictus, and the day in question, December 25th.
Right.
So this is all idolatry. It's all pagan. I want to read the scripture real quick before you open up that second one. Can you pull Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14?
14. Okay.
14, come on.
Okay.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 26. It says, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. Verse 27, for the worshipping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. That's what we're seeing right there. The worshipping of idols, right? The worshipping of idols. It's the beginning and end and cause and end of all evil. Right, let's go back to the last link.
You know what's funny?
I think it's go on.
You know what's funny? Yeah, even that last in verse 26, that literally describes what goes on, man. Like when you watch these like EastEnders Christmas specials, man. You got Max Branning, his someone's wife on Christmas Day, and then they found out
with his son's wife, bro.
Yeah, man, and
His
then
son's wife.
You're sneaking off. You're wearing your hat, your Santa hat. You're going down there. That's what happens in the offices, man. Right? That's what happens, man. Madness.
God.
Can't.
There's
You want
there's
this?
a lot in this one. Lord willing,
Can't.
we can share this link with on the channel so people can actually go and read this for themselves. But I just want to pick out certain bits from it. So I'm just gonna start with the introduction of it, the beginning of it.
Can't.
It says, walk into any home in December and you'll find a world of familiar rituals. The scent of pine and cinnamon, the sparkle of a decorated tree, the crackle of a fire, the exchange of gifts. For many, these are simply the trappings of Christmas. But to understand the true origins of this festive season, you have to look much further back, thousands of years, to a time when our ancestors lived by the rhythm of the sun, and the darkest day of the year wasn't a time of dread, but of defiant celebration. The answer to the question, what was the December pagan holiday, isn't a single name. It's a complex tapestry woven from a dozen different threads, each representing a unique culture and tradition that converge around one central cosmic event, the winter solstice. This isn't just an article of history, it's a journey to the very roots of our modern holiday spirit, revealing how ancient rituals of hope, feasting, and of unconquered sun lay the foundation of the joyous season we celebrate today. This is joyous,
So
all
like
right?
it, even to point out what
Go
it
on.
said real quick, yeah. It says something that's really
Mhm,
interesting. It said about it's not
mhm.
just a single name, innit? So
Exactly,
just because it's not Christmas, it doesn't have to say it's Christmas. It says it's a complex tapestry
exactly.
woven
Right.
together, different. You know, it's like Catholicism. It's like
Different.
Christianity.
Come on,
You
come
know,
on. Different timelines as well,
right.
right? Different timelines. The Romans had it. Well, started all the way in Babylon, right? Babylon did it. The Persian, the Medes did it, right? The Greeks did it. The Romans did it. Now we're doing it.
Mm,
Our people still doing it today. It's just called something differently, something
yeah.
different. So like it. Um, I don't want to read all of this. I want to go to Saturnalia one.
So
So
like
the
it, and
third, if you
you
go,
know
go on.
cells as well. Sorry to interrupt, King. You know cells,
No,
innit? You
no,
know selling and it's just rebranding. That's all it is.
that's it. Come
It's just
on,
rebranding. We can't use that name because
come
everyone knows that's evil. But if
on.
if we call it this, yeah, that's a good name.
Mm, yeah, that's facts, bro. That's facts. Um, yeah, that one. Saturnalia. Saturnalia, Rome's midwinter party. While the Germanic tribes were celebrating Yule in the north, the Romans were having a party of an entirely different kind. Approximately 16th to 23rd, Rome celebrated Saturnalia, a widely popular festival dedicated to the god Saturn, the god of agriculture, wealth, and time. Saturnalia was, in essence, of social order. It was a time of joyous inversion where the normal rules of society were thrown out the window. Masters and slaves would switch roles, with the slaves being waited on by their masters. It was a moment of pure and bridal egalitarianism. Gambling, which was typically forbidden, was allowed. People would wear brightly colored clothing, and the formal toga was abandoned in favor of a more casual attire. A mock king, the Saturnalicis prince of prince of Saturnalia, would be chosen to reign over the festivities, often by throwing dice. His rule was a time of boisterous humor and chaotic commands, all designed to create a sense of joyous temporary anarchy. Gift giving. One of the most defining traditions of Saturnalia was the exchange of gifts. Why are we giving gifts today? Why is giving gifts? What has giving gifts got anything to do with Yahushua? Christians will try and link somehow. Well, because when he died, he gave us a gift, the gift of eternal life. So that's why we
Off,
give gifts today.
off.
Because we know Jake, man. We know Jake is always trying to find ways and loopholes to do stuff. So that's the type of stuff they'll come out with. It says one of the most defining. I just read that. It says simply tokens like small wax candles. Now you get, your Lynx shower gel, right?
Licks
It
apricot.
says like small Lynx can or six, all right? It says like small wax candles and earthenware figurines, sigillary, they're called, were given to friends, family, and even slaves. And again, Jake, Negro, who were the slaves, bro? You were the slaves, right? So-called black woman, black man, you were those slaves here. It says these small gifts were meant to symbolize the new beginnings, and the return of light. Right? This is that gift destroying the heart. Right? They make you swap roles, and you think, oh, these are not too bad because we're swapping now. I'm the boss for a couple of days, and then after that, you're back to your slave role. That's the gift that's destroying the heart. It says the festival also had its own celebratory cry, I O Saturnalia, which was shouted throughout the streets, much like a modern Merry Christmas. See that? So everyone you go, even when I went to that church, man was like, "Oh, Merry Christmas." I was like, "What do you mean, Merry Christmas? You're not supposed to be doing that." He was like, "Well, season's greetings, isn't it?" I was like, "What do you mean, season greet? What are we talking about?" I had to pull out the Bible straight away and start cutting it. I was like, "What are you doing? Don't tell me that. I've come to speak to you about the Bible. Actually, let's get into it." And that's how we go into the conversation. But Merry Christmas, Saturnalia, same thing. I'm gonna read this last bit. The enduring legacy of Roman revelry. Saturnalia was time to relax, indulge, and forget about the hardships of the past year. It's the same thing. It's the same thing during this quote unquote Christmas period. It's time to relax, enjoy, have a few drinks, eat. Even people say, "Oh, I've got my New Year resolution because Christmas time, I know I'm gonna eat a lot, I'm gonna enjoy it, and then New Year, I'm gonna come back and go to the gym harder." That's indulging, and you're relaxing because it's a date, it's a time to enjoy time with the family, right? And forget about the hardships of the past year because you're coming to the end of the year. It's the same thing. It says it was a cathartic release. The festival spirit of camaraderie, role reversal, and generous gift giving, profound and lasting impact on European culture. Its influence is directly visible in many of our modern Christmas traditions, particularly the emphasis on giving, feasting, and a sense of shared joy. It's the same thing. This is Saturnalia all over again. It's a Sol Invictus all over again. But our people can't see it, right? Let's get the Bible real quick, and I'm gonna pass it. Let me get, what was I holding? Let me get Luke 22 and verse 19 real quick. Luke 22 and verse 19. It says, and he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, "This is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me." So Christ has told us to keep the Passover in remembrance of him. Where did he tell you to keep his birthday? Where's that? What book? What chapter? What verse? Let's read that. Because I'd love to do it if he said it. It's not in here. But the thing he told you to do, you put that aside and you go and pick up your own thing. That's evil according to the Lord. I'm gonna get one more. This is 2 Ezra chapter 7 and verse 20. 2 Ezra 7 and verse 20. It says, "For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. People will perish if you don't turn back to the Most High. For Yahweh have given strict commandments to such as came what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. The Most High has told us there's no excuses for anyone to say, well, I didn't know that. Yes, you do. The Most High sent his prophets out to tell you what you should be doing. He's showing you what you should be doing. You decided to ignore it. It says, verse 22, nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things. This is our people once again. It's the same spirit that imagined vain things, that think, keeping Christmas, it's not evil. It's actually good because we're celebrating his birthday. That's a vain thing. It's not in the Bible, so you shouldn't be doing it. Verse 23, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that not, and knew not his ways. Our people don't know the ways of the Lord. The Most High loves the Passover. He loves it when we come out on the Shabbat and teach his word. He loves it when the brothers and sisters gather together, right? He loves it when we keep the Feast of Pentecost. He loves it when we're dwelling in the booths, in tabernacles. His spirit is there. The Most High loves these things. The Most High is not loving your Christmas. He's not loving you eating pork. He's not loving you going to church every Sunday, because that's not in the Bible. People don't know the Most High, right? But you go ahead.
Come on, man. And then that's just straight up and down, man. Our people, like it says in Ecclesiastes 3:8, man, right? On the same point, right? I start at 7. It says, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, but they will not hearken unto thee. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted, man. So our people, they're so just stubborn, man, to be, to do evil, man, that they make haste to do evil. Right? Ask them, because, hey, there's feast days, man. You could read the book of Esther. It says that they gave gifts, man. You can impure it, man. Give gifts, man. Sure. Give gifts to the people, the congregation, the people of the poor. They give gifts, right? And that's a feast day, man. Right? But you tell the people, hey, you tell them, read Leviticus 23, read Deuteronomy 16. They reading that, man. They don't want to read that, because the Most High gave you feast days. He gave you days to keep. You don't want to keep them, man. That's the Old Testament. That's the old. So why is Christ doing that? You're not doing it, but you're saying you're full of it.
Right.
Man.
Right. This is
yeah, right, exactly. That's the Old Testament. Christ done it though. We're followers of Christ, and then like they'll say they're followers of Christ, and then when you say, so why are you doing that? Then they'll make an excuse and they'll say, okay, but this, but that, but you're a follower of Christ. You got grace. Because, back in the ancient world, you would have been, this guy's not trying to keep. They would have said, yo, he's going off, him. And you'd be the first to throw the stones, man.
Yeah, we've got witnesses. There's 2 witnesses that just came forward. You're done.
Right. So, essentially, what people are doing, you're abusing the grace, man. Right, that grace, that's going to close, man. And we pray for grace, for mercy, for our wrongdoing, man. Right? This is Leviticus 23:2. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord. Christmas is not listed here. Not listed here. Right? Concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. Right? So if a Christian, maybe you're watching it live, or you're re-watching, if you find it, right? If you find the scriptures, let us know. Right? Because if you find it, we're gonna in righteousness, we're gonna shalom. Right? Find us the precept. Right? But that's not in here. Right?
Wow.
So it says, these are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. So in certain seasons, There's feast days that will take place. Tabernacles, right? Tabernacles is coming up to that really that winter period. Dedications, you have that. That's a tradition that's ordained, which celebrated the deliverance of Israel from the Seleucid Empire and the rededicating of the temple. Right? That's what that goes into. But we don't want to keep that. Nah. Christmas, just Christmas. Just I want Christmas. That's it, man. Right? You can't just I want Christmas, man. Right? Let's get two more pieces and I'll kind of go into some of these points I got, man. Right? Like it's even in this chapter, it tells you that they hate the guy that rebukes in the gate, man. Right? Even I'll read this quick. It says, and this is an evil thing. We've gone through the what it says about it. It's an evil thing. Right? It's Amos 5 and 15. Just like it says in Proverbs 8 and 13. It says to hate evil. It says hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord thy God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. So, point being is that first clause about hate the evil. Don't love something that you know is the spirit behind it, and you're trying to say, "Oh, we're dancing because we believe in Jesus, and we're using this for the ministry." How are you gonna use something that's just wicked and evil, and then just use that to fundraise money? I say, "Oh, well, that's why we use that's like this is in Proverbs 13 and 11, and those are goods." But even Sirach 5, it tells you about goods gotten by a vanity, man. Right? Those are things gotten by vanity. They're not going to succumb to anything. Now, when it's Amos 5 and 21, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Man. Right? This is double wisdom because most hates these Helen days, man, which really come from that Greco-Roman period, which that's where the influences come from. Essentially, obviously, it goes back, to Babylon, man. Right? It goes back to them, but those things, it says in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 or 8, I believe, the thing which has been is that which shall be. So this is nothing. It's nothing new under the sun. These feast days that people are keeping, they don't even know why they're keeping. Christ's birthday, Jesus' birthday. Show me the Bible verse. Right? Right? So you can't be deceived, man. Right? If you're and you know why it's evil, the spirit behind it. Now you got you as a Jake, you're carrying some big tree, right? You're spending. I got what overtime. My girl needs that. She needs that Christmas toy, whatever, man. You're going to, like it says in First Ezra 4, man. You're sinning for women, man. Right? You're sinning for women. You're going out of your way. I need to do this, man. And women, not just literal women. That's wisdom as well. Right? Sinning for that. Right? It's just Second Thessalonians, right? Last precept, and I kind of go into some of the thing that I put on, right? Second Thessalonians 2, right? And this is a really good chapter, man. Right? Yeah, because I can start verse 3, but I'll start at verse. I'll start at 8, man. Second Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, and we know who that wicked is, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So essentially, when you say and you condemn these things, that's rebuking that and thus destroying that wicked root, man. Right? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and science and lying wonders, man. And that's how they deceive people with the lights, the trees, the stars. And where did the star have just 5 sides? Or 6 sides even? Right? All these lights, you see, oh, wow. Right? And your woman's confusing. Wow, doesn't it just feel like Christmas? You're just saying stuff, man. And then you're watching Home Alone. Right? Right? So, hey, man, you can't be deceived, man. Right? So we went over the jingle bells. Right? You see that? So many things, man. There's so many things. right? There's so many, so many things, man, that you know, can be spoken about and show you the contradiction of these. Well, let's go to Sol Invictus, right? The brother was saying about Sol Invictus. This is where you get that sun, the sun god, man. Right? It says invincible sun or unconquered sun was the official sun god of the late Roman Empire and the late aspect of the replacement for the old Latin god Sol. See that? The Emperor Aurelian revived his cult in 274 right, AD. Right? So essentially, this is really going back to that sun god, man. Yeah, Sunday, sun worship, right? And essentially, these things they kind of form together, right? And that's where you get the idea. I believe it's called. You got geocentric, and you got. There's two types. You got geocentric and geocentric. Heliocentric, right? Heliocentric, where they have the sun being pulled around the earth, or the earth being pulled around. Some madness that they have, man, right? So that's what that kind of goes into, right? It says usually when a sun crown and driving a horse chariot through the sky, right? But jumping down, it says, let me see, it's something, and this is where the brother was talking about that sun god spirit, man, right? You see, go down, man. Right, so, and this goes right up until the time of it's just confusion, man. Right, you see that Constantine decree, right, in 321 AD about the day of the sun, right? So that's where that paganism, right, and that was where they changed the Sabbath day. You don't even keep the Sabbath day, but you worried about what you're gonna get for Christmas. Don't keep the Sabbath day, y'all. And even when you say, I'm keeping the Sabbath day on Sunday, now you say, okay, now you're trying to pull, okay, Colossians 2, 16, let no man, but you're not even keeping it properly. These times you're buying chicken and chips right after the service. You didn't prepare your food the day before. They say, Colossians 10, 16, King. Right? But hey, man, it's again, going back to the vulnerable day of the sun. Right? So there's more, right? I'll close that when I use it, right? Right, we pulled up Saturnalia. Did we read that? Or did you read that?
I think go up. Let me see that picture again. No, I don't think we read. Well, we read something about it, but not this article specifically.
Right. So Saturnalia on December 17, it was extended to 3, first to 3, then eventually to 7 days. Right. This date has been connected with the winter sowing season. I'm gonna jump down. Right. So the same spirit of what the brother was bringing out. Right. Where let's see that. Toward the end of the festival, presents of candles, wax of models of fruit. Right. So again, the same spirit. See that? The influence of Saturnalia upon the celebrations of Christmas and the New Year has been direct. So it's not we don't know. It's direct, man. Right? And it's got to be a weird. Why is it that just during this one time, that's the one time the family can get together? Ain't it no other days? Why is it so? It's marketed so well that that's the one time we can all come around a table and put your argument aside and just sit down with it. Even though you slept with your wife, just sit down with it. You know what? You're right. It's Christmas. And, hey, man, get out of here with that crap, man. It says the fact that Christmas was celebrated on the birthday of the unconquered son. That's that Sol Invictus again, man. So why? And that's very. Esau's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. He knows why he changed the time. Why you got a leap year, 28 days and 30 days and 31 days. Why he pays you sometimes on Friday night so you can freak off on a Saturday, man, and break the Shabbat. Right? See that, man? So January 1st, Roman New Year. That goes into January. Right? So that's no different, man. So again, these things they go to honoring our idol. Right? So there's so many things you gotta search it and read, man. You see that? Look again. That this is quite deep. This one. It's called a chronograph of 354. Right? It's a compilation of chronological and calendrical texts to do with calendars, produced in 34 AD for a wealthy Roman Christian named Valentinus by the calligrapher and illustrator. Right? This guy. Right? So I'm gonna jump down. It says amongst other historical significant information, the work contains the earliest reference. So not even the apostles were doing this, man. So not even the apostles were doing this. If this is 3-4 AD, I don't even think John the Revelator was alive at this point at all. If this is 3-4 AD, right? So it says it contains the earliest reference to the celebration of Christmas as an annual holiday or feast on December 25th. Although unique historical dates have been mentioned, but mentioned much earlier by see that too. That's no chance. No chance. Right. So right again. Right. And again, look, we're going into these Natalis Invicti, which is again that Sol Invictus, man, right? And he's always naked, right? Just naked, man, right? That's that sun god spirit again. Natalius Invicti, Latin for birthday of the unconquered sun, a major Roman festival celebrated on December 25th, marking the winter solstice, the rebirth / renewal of the sun god Sol Invictus after the shortest day. So that's some witchcraft right there, man. That's that sorcery. On that day, they know, and that's where the nations, man. You got Elam celebrating Christmas, man. Elam. You got even Ishmaelites. Remember, you remember that time when they had what's his name, man? What's that football player? Mo Salah.
Say Merry Christmas.
They had a picture of Mo
Celebrate
Salah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the
Christmas
Muslims
tree.
like, right. All the Muslims, they lost it. What's he doing? Oh, astaghfirullah, like, right? So December 25th is honoring, and this is idolatry, right? This is idolatry. This is all idolatry. This has nothing to do with Christ. And even that Sol Invictus, really, even that image, right? And they got Surah up, right? That Sol Invictus, I believe, Asapia was telling me, right, was an image which they used for Christ as well, I believe, man. Right? Well, that's a whole nother topic. Right? Right, they're gonna say, no, we did. No, they didn't. See that? Yeah, there you go there. Yeah. See that? Yeah. The most direct example of Sol Invictus image used for Christ is a 3rd century mosaic in the tomb of. So you see that, man. So they'll use, these people and say, okay, this is Jesus, right? But
Going images real quick.
you see that? They'll use this. Yeah, you see. Yeah, you see. It's the same concept, man.
With the background as well. Like with the sun in the back type thing.
See that? This is just demon, and this is Jesus. Sol Invictus, some demon, man. Some kind of madness. I say, yeah. So look at that. Sol Invictus, Roman god. So we open another portal here, right? Going into this point here, but yeah, man, right? It's idolatry, man. Right? And you don't want to go, and now you're eating you're eating of these meals, man. Right? This is 1 Corinthians 10. And because you gotta watch, watch for these halal foods, man. Right, the guy's doing this. Damn over the damn chicken, man. Right? Talking about, you know what they say, man. Allahu Akbar. Right? That's madness. They'll say that and blow up your house and say, they'll say that, man. So, but and you know what's funny, right? Lord, maybe we'll do a lesson on it as well. Hey, they're commanded themselves to not eat anything that's not halal, but you'll go and eat that. But hey, this is 1 Corinthians 10:6. It says, "Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted." Right? It says, "Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play." So even what you eat, and that could be idolatry. Oh, it's just a Christmas meal, right? And they're playing what are they playing? Celebration, man. I don't know what band they celebrate good times. It's something they're playing that, right? But you're celebrating nothing but idolatry, right? And that's quoting Numbers 25, right? And I'll pull that quick and I'll pass it, right? That's quoting Numbers 25. How the Moab, the children of Moab, and they started making the Israelites eat of their foods, which was idolatry. Numbers 25:2, and they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods, the Moabites' gods, and the people did eat and bow down to their gods. So that what you eat can be idolatry. Man. When we go to, my parents are, that's a Sabbath day, right? Your parents are, look, have some leftover. I know it's just Sabbath. Have some leftover. We made this from the Christmas. You should say no, la. And they say, can't. Thank you, mom. Thank you. I don't know what the Hebrew word for mother is, man. Right? They say Dawada Abba. Thank you, Abba. Amma, see that? They say Dawada Amma for this idolatrous food I'm about to eat. Right, but you got it, King, man.
Okay. I want to touch on just a quick thing. If you can pull John 10 and verse 22. I'm gonna go back to that because I want it to be on the record that this is more than just a tradition. This is a commandment. And I say that because John 10 and 22 says, and it was at the feast of dedication, and it was winter. Right. So we're seeing Christ about to keep the feast of winter, the feast of dedication. Now go to Deuteronomy chapter 18, and we're gonna read verse 15. Right? Because Christ was the walking embodiment of the laws of God. The Messiah said he's gonna put his word, he's gonna send out his word, and whatever. Let's read it. Actually. It says, "The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken." Right? "According to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord thy God, neither let me this day this great fire anymore that I die not." So we're supposed to hear and hearken unto what Yahushua has said and done. All Yahushua did is keep the commandments of God. He did everything according to the laws of God. If Yahushua is keeping the feast of dedication, we don't have an excuse to not do it. Right? Passover, tabernacles, right? We see anything we see in the commandments of the laws, the Most High, and we see Yahushua talking or doing, that's law as well. Because he's the walking embodiment of the law. So and just like to just cut up and choose and drop this and pick up that, I was speaking to an elder who said, well, first started with, he was basically saying like, he has a shaved beard. He was saying, he can't, has to, keep his beard shaved for his work. I said, okay, well, you're supposed to find another job because God said not to shave your beard. And he said, well, you know, that Bible, some bits are true, some bits are false. So now I'm like, so which is it? Is it because of your job, or is it because some bits are false, some bits are real? And furthermore, which bits are false and which bits are true? Like, how do you discern? Man said, how I feel. What I feel is right. That's what's right. That's our people, man. But let's continue with that. Let's I'm holding a bit right now. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Our people don't know who they're playing with. They don't know the adversary they're dealing with. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of his devices, right? Don't get it twisted. You know, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years, right? Some of us might fall, but probably will fall in some form or degree, right? Because regardless of that happening, we're not ignorant of his devices. We know that Satan's at work. We know that there's an enemy that we have to, you know, stay, you know, make sure we're sticking the right foot moving forward, as we can slip up. But Christians, they're not even aware. So that's what's, you know, Satan's not really, you're already in his pocket. What has he got to do to tempt you with something? You're already with him. So you're living cushy. You're living good right now, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians now, chapter 10, and I'm gonna read verse 20. It says, 1 Corinthians 10 and 20. It says, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils. That's what the brothers were talking about doing sacrifice to idols. The Gentile, they sacrifice to devil. These are the actual Gentiles, right? It says, and to Yahweh, and I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. You cannot say you love God and you're keeping Christmas. You can't do that. It's the Most High will spit you out. The Most High will spit you out. And you know, it's not going to come overnight. It's going to be a gradual thing, right? Because the Most High is patient with it. They're calling the King of Terrors for a reason. The Lord is patient with it. He's going to take his time. He's going to slow roast it. You know, make you take little steps here and there. Next thing you know, it's a bit, and then you're looking back like, how did this happen? But this was 4 or 5 years ago in making. You just didn't pay attention. The Most High is cold. The Most High is cold, man. I don't see how people are not afraid of him, especially Israel. I don't see how, you know, we're speaking to Jacob about what the Most High has done, how he put us in slavery, and they don't even shiver at that. They're not even a little bit scared. They just brushed past it like it's nothing. Right, let's go to I got 2 more and then that's it. John 4 and verse 23.
And so like
I'm gonna start a verse. Go on.
Even on that point as well, that in that First Corinthians, that could be Israelites that move like the Gentiles as well, man. You know,
Okay.
You know, like don't the Most High. You could fulfill the scriptures that's talking about a heathen. You know.
Yeah.
You know. You can't.
Because that's a good point, because it's the same thing we read in Acts, I believe it's 13, where the Most High said, I will provoke them to jealousy with them that are not a nation. Right? Well, sorry, it's like it first came to in Deuteronomy. The Most High said he's going to provoke us to jealousy with them that are a nation. Really, it's talking about, in that context, it's talking about a non-Israelite people. But then you see it manifested in Acts. It's talking about who? The northern tribe Gentiles. So yeah, all praises. Yeah, John 4 and verse 23. It says, But the hour cometh, and now is, when true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So not only do you have to have faith, you also have to be keeping the commandments. You have to have the spirit. You have to believe that he exists. You have to fear him. You have to know that there's things that he requires for you to do. If you don't do it, there's punishments for it. And you have to also do those commandments that he told you to do. That's who the Most High is seeking, not those who worship him just in spirit. It says in spirit and in truth. The truth is the laws of the Most High, right? I'm gonna get one more and then that's it. Second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 42. Second Ezra 7 and verse 42. Second Ezra 7 and 42, and it reads, He answered me and said, This present life is not the end, where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. So when this time ends, that's the end of corruption. Right? Verse 44. Intemperance is at an end, and infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. That time is coming when Yahushua comes, right? No man's gonna be able to oppress him that have the victory. You're not gonna be able to oppress us anymore. Esau, your time for ruling is done, so enjoy it whilst you can. Our people, for you to be on the right side of this thing, you have to be doing the work right now, right? So that time is coming. That's what we're laboring for. That's what we have faith in. We want truth and righteousness to spring up. We want the truth to be. We are Israelites. We are God's chosen people. We are the people of the Bible, and we are above all nations. And we're going to rule over these nations with a rod of iron. And we're going to smash the babies of these nations, specifically Esau, their babies. We're going to dash them against the stone. That's in the Bible. That's what we're going to do. Right? So that's the truth that we're waiting for it to come up. Okay, no praises. You got it.
Okay. You got a closing precept?
No, that's not closing precept.
Yeah, see that?
Okay.
Right, all praise to the Most High, man. Right, and that, all of that is by faith that works is dead, man. Essentially, like the brother said, man. Right, and hey, man, you have to have faith, man. Like saying, oh, maybe I'm a Moabite. Maybe I'm this. You finding excuses to go back into the world, man. Right, but this is wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and 8. It says, they shall judge the nations and have dominion over their people. Because that's what's going to happen. In the end of be all, right? We're not talking from our own hearts. We're talking from the scriptures. The Israelites, they're going to have dominion over the other nations. And it says, and their Lord shall reign forever. All praises to Yahweh. It says, verse 9, they that put their trust in him, right, shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love. The love is an action. Shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect. His elect being Israel, I believe that's Isaiah 45, I believe. Right? That's chosen and called. It's even Isaiah 45 or Isaiah 44, I believe, right? That's the children of Israel. Right? Reading on, it says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations. So if you think, you watch Tom and Jerry, you've seen maybe he dropped an anvil on Tom's face and Tom's face went back like, hey, that's what the Most High is going to do to you. Right? By their own imagination, which have what? Which have neglected the righteousness and forsaken the Lord. Essentially, you've turned your back on the Most High, man. So, Most High is going to deny you too. Right?
That's
so,
right.
all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Faith for that works is dead. You got to put in the work for the Most High, man. Right? Stop celebrating these pagan feast days, man. Right? Come back to the Most High and keep his commandments, man. For your faith. Can't.
In sincerity and in truth.
Can't. So with that, man, we'll say all praise to the Most High, man. Right? Say Lord William was edified. Right? We'll say Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Israel.